Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Tammy. Thank you for coming out on a Thursday afternoon. And part of New Year resolutions for me, I know, is to recycle more, but I need to recycle right. I spoke with our guest speaker today, Aurora Ortiz, and she filled me in on the issues of people wanting to recycle and their heart is in it, but they actually could be doing more harm than good. And it's really, we need to work on, are we recycling right? And I am excited to have her with us today. I know in our other lectures last year, we talked a lot about climate, plastics, saving the beaches, and just everything is about saving our planet. And so this is probably one of the most important things, is about recycling. So Aurora, I want you to unmute yourself and okay. And then everybody, what we're going to do is she'll say hello, and we are going to do a little icebreaker, which is going to be a quiz. And for those of you that are familiar with the trivia, I'm going to be doing polling questions shared with some pictures. So Aurora, if you want to say hello to everybody, and I will start and I will share my screen, and we can get the the icebreaker quiz on its way.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aurora Ortiz, and I do work with the Solid Waste Authority. But first and foremost, I would like to wish every single one of you and your families a happy and healthy new year. We're starting, like Tammy said, a brand new year, new goals. And we should also put our environment into our new goals to how to preserve natural resources, but especially for future generations, right? Because you're going to learn today the importance of recycling, but also recycling right, why it's important to recycle right. So we put together this little trivia game as a little icebreaker. So Tammy is going to start with the questions, and you will answer, and then I will go ahead and reiterate which are the right answers, okay, and why. So go ahead.
Okay, so the first question is going to be the paper plate. What bin would a paper plate be thrown into? So everybody just touch on the screen that what you see, which color bin a paper plate would be thrown into. The yellow, the blue, or the trash. We're only going to do 60 seconds because we don't have that many people. And then make sure if you're using an iPad that you click submit afterwards so it registers, okay? All right, now we're not going to give the, so let me just go ahead. I'm ending the poll.
Okay.
And
Tammy, is it a clean plate or a dirty plate?
right here, let's see, the picture
Good
says,
question.
Yep, a clean plate for right now.
Oh.
And then, okay, and then Aurora will tell you the answer.
So what do you guys think?
Well, I'd say if it's clean, it would go into the recycle, but if it's used, in the trash.
It does go in the garbage, where regardless if it's clean or dirty or used.
That's surprising.
The reason is because sometimes when it's used, it does have a paper absorbs oil, and oil cannot be removed from the fiber of the paper, so it can't be recycled. So that's why we say, regardless if it's clean, unused, or if it's used, put it in with your garbage. Like, I'm going to repeat this a lot. When in doubt, just throw it out, because we don't want to mix these soiled products with oil with our paper, especially with the paper. You're going to learn why. So good question if it was dirty or clean. That was excellent.
Okay, and then here are the results. Okay.
Good job.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Not bad at all. Okay, so everybody look at the picture.
Okay, don't go to the next slide until they answer this. This
Correct.
is a tricky one.
All right, so everybody, here is the poll. Let me just make sure poll, oops. Okay, what bin would a glass jar and metal lid be thrown into? And then there's 3 questions. So when you're done with the question on your iPad, say next, click on the next. So you have to answer all 3 questions and then click submit if you're using an iPad or a phone.
Tammy, is blue paper and yellow? I don't know which is.
I'm gonna tell you, nope.
No. Which, what are blue and yellow? Which is which? I don't
Nope.
know.
That's why we're here today.
Well, I can't answer where to put the jar until I know whether the glass
guess.
goes in.
We'll take a guess. That's okay. That's what we're here for. We're here to learn what the blue and the yellow bins are. We're here to view. So just take a guess.
Ellen, it's the same as our dumpster area. In our dumpster, we have a yellow and we have a blue and we have the big green bin.
And I promise you, I will not tell on you, okay? So whatever happens in this presentation, it's amongst us. So don't worry about it. I will not tell if you were recycling wrong or right. The end result is that we're all going to learn together and we're going to become expert recyclers at the end of the presentation.
Okay, so everybody's done. I'm going to end the poll and we're going to.
So what do you guys think? What do you guys think?
The blue.
Does it go in the blue? Okay.
Yes.
I separate
How many of you think it goes in the yellow?
Separate the lid from the glass.
How about in the garbage?
Let's see the
The
result.
lid.
No.
No,
Well, let's see the answer first.
this is the correct answer. It goes in the blue recycling bin. However, since it's made out of 2 different materials, it's made out of steel, right? The lid is made out of steel and the container is made out of glass. We ask that you separate the lid from the glass jar and place both in the same recycling bin, which is the blue bin. So let's see your answers.
Okay.
Good job.
All right. So
Awesome.
pretty much everybody
Yes.
got the color bin and
With
they
the
leave
lid
the
off.
lid.
Awesome. Yes.
Well, I have a question about that because I was told that you want lids left on because what happens is they fall out and get all over the floor of the recycling area.
Well, I'm going to go into detail about that in the next few slides.
Okay.
You're partially correct, though.
Okay, so here's your next picture and here's the question.
Where do you think it goes? Does it go in the blue, the yellow, or the garbage? These are plastic utensils.
You know, Aurora, what I'll do is I'll share the answers. I think they kind of want to see that when and then you can confirm it. All right, everybody. That was pretty easy. I think just about everybody is done with this question. Okay, we're gonna end the poll and we're gonna share the results. Okay, so we had 16 people
Awesome.
said the trash and 7 said the blue.
Awesome, awesome.
And let's see what our answer is.
That's correct. It does go in with the garbage or your trash. These plastic utensils, even though they're made out of plastic, they do not go in your blue recycling bin. That's correct.
So far,
Okay.
you're doing everything wrong.
You're doing everything wrong, is that what you said?
So far, I think I've been doing so well because I'm such a fanatic about recycling and I've been doing it all wrong.
I know that's why this is so great, and that's why that's why we're recording this so we can see what we're doing wrong. So here you go, everybody. This is our next question. I am going to launch the question right now. And okay, here you go. It's a two-part question. What bin would a water bottle be thrown into, and should the cap remain on or off? And hint, Mrs. Kavanaugh already told us the answer. Okay, we have a couple more people to answer the question. All right, everybody, I'm ending it. And we're going to share the results. So, okay, so let's see how everybody did. Aurora.
Awesome. Awesome.
Oh, wait a minute. What, they put it in the blue bin.
Oh, they put it in the blue bin. Oh,
No, that's okay. That's right.
Okay.
That's right. I was, yep. Yeah, they put in blue. See, I'm all confused. I think I was the one yellow. Should the cap remain on or off? Hat 50, almost like 50-50. All right. So let's go ahead and show the answer, and Aurora will tell you all about it.
It does go in the blue bin. And with plastic containers, whether they're water containers or laundry detergent containers, if they have a plastic lid, go ahead and attach it to the plastic container because it's the same material. So we want to recycle more. And by attaching it back onto the container, we are able to recover and capture that extra plastic. Not like the glass, because the glass has a different type of material. The lid is a different type of material. So that's why we ask you to separate it, but put it in the blue bin. With plastic containers, we ask you to keep together so that way we're able to recycle more. Now, keep in mind that when you put it in your blue recycling bin, this recycling bin does take a lot of, it takes time to get to our facilities. It does travel quite a bit. So since the caps are so small, they can get lost within the travels of coming to our facilities. So that's why we ask to please reattach the lids back onto the plastic container. So that way we're able to recover more plastic. So that was a good one. That was a good one.
All right. So our
Is
last,
the-
oh, sorry.
I wanted to know, is every plastic container that is recyclable have this, the lid is also recyclable?
If it's plastic, yes, because the cap would be made out of the same type of plastic that the bottle is made from. So it is a recyclable product that we can sell. So that's why we ask that you reattach all those plastic caps back onto the container. So that way we recover more plastic and sell more.
Okay.
All right. So everybody's hungry. It's 4 o'clock, ready for some pizza. So let's go ahead and finally nip this in the bud, right?
This is a controversy. This is a big controversy.
It is. I know last night I had a member like swore to God. I was like, I was so confused. So anyways, here's your question. What bin would a pizza box be thrown into? And the second part is, can you leave leftover pizza in the box?
Swordfish. That's it.
Who has leftover pizza?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I know. I wouldn't throw away leftover pizza or give it to the trash man. All right. It looks like everybody has answered. And now we're going to share the results. So
Mm.
see, it is a controversy. It is. 16 people thought it should be thrown away, and 8 people should be said it should go in the yellow. And then for the food, about 50-50. Okay, so here is
I'm going to stop sharing. And here's your answer.
So the correct answer, and this is why I say it's a little tricky. So the pizza box, if you look at the picture, has the bottom part has the pizza and the lid, right, that closes over the pizza box. So the lid generally is the clean side. So what we do not want is the greasy bottom portion. So of course, we should never in our recycling bins. That's a big no-no. But it goes along with the paper plate. So the paper plates, we do not accept them because when they're used, does absorb oil. Same thing with cardboard. So cardboard does absorb the oil, which can't take it off of the cardboard to be recycled. So, but when in doubt, just throw it out. Throw it out because the Solid Waste Authority does something special with your garbage. And you're going to learn today what we do with your garbage. So if you can, we would love to recover as much cardboard as we can. So just, break it in half, the clean portion, put it in the yellow recycling bin, and the part that's oil or soiled or dirty, put that in with your trash. So these are some of the most common questions that I receive when I am speaking out to the public or to our residents. And that's why I thought this would be a great icebreaker for you. So that way, once I go through my presentation, you'll get a better idea as to why we have these guidelines on what to put in the bins and what not to put in the bins. How about this one? And I'm not talking about the groceries, I'm talking about the bags.
Yes. All righty. Here you go, everybody. Here's your question. What bin would the plastic bags be thrown into?
You can return it to Publix also.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a fourth answer to that one.
Yes, Publix, yes. But I wonder what they do. Then I wonder though what they do to them at Publix. That would be something we can ask Aurora. All right,
There's a
everybody
fifth
has.
answer. The fifth answer is I use it for the cat litter.
Or the doggy litter, yes. All right, so let's end the poll and we're gonna share the results. So we've got 6 people that said the blue bin and then 17 people thought, oh, we should do the percentage. 71% thought it should go into the trash. So with that said, let's go ahead and listen to Aurora.
So plastic bags, a lot of residents do put them in the blue recycling bin because they associate plastic, right, with the blue recycling bin, but actually they do not go in the blue recycling bin. They go in with your garbage. And some of the ways that you mentioned are forms of recycling, these plastic bags. But when you're done recycling with these plastic bags, put them in with your garbage, especially if you're going to be picking up poopies with it, right? Whether it be for your cat or your puppy, just put it in with your garbage and you're going to learn what the Solid Waste Authority does with your garbage. Now, if they are clean and you can return them back to your local grocer that does accept them, yes, go ahead and do so also. But if you cannot, don't feel bad about not taking them back to your local grocer. You can put them in with your garbage. What the local grocery stores do with these bags, I am not 100% sure, but I do know that they do advertise that they do recycle them. So I would take their word. If they are advertising that they're recycling them, I would feel comfortable with that. But in our case, for the Solid Waste Authority, when you finish using these bags, because there's a lot of adults also that use them as liners for their garbage cans, right? So once you're done with them, once you're completely done with them, which is perfectly fine, go ahead and put them in with your garbage.
So I had a question. I've been collecting my recyclable plastic in the house in a plastic grocery bag. And then I would just pick that up and dump it in the recycle bin. You're saying empty that out, don't put the plastic bag in.
Correct. Correct. We want all of your recycling nice and loose within the recycling bins. And I know that sometimes, we try to do the right thing, but for instance, paper. So a lot of adults like to put their newspapers or papers that they're putting in the yellow recycling bin in plastic bags because they think that if the weather's bad, if it's raining, it's going to ruin the paper. Well, the actual truth to that is that once it reaches our facilities and it's in a plastic bag, well, first of all, your hauler may not even pick it up. But if it does reach our facilities, it's not going to be recycled because we receive all of Palm Beach County's recyclables. And we really, for the safety of our employees, we cannot open these bags because we don't know what's in them. So that's why we request that all of your recycling be placed in the blue or the yellow recycling bin, nice and loose.
What do you do about tuna fish cans? Because if you throw them in the recycling, it smells. I mean, I wash them out, but I tend to put them in plastic and put them out. And I know I'm not supposed to put the plastic, but I don't want the bin to smell.
And we were discussing that early this morning. So let me just throw out a question to all of you. Do you think it's necessary to rinse out the containers before putting them in the blue recycling bin? Is that something that is required?
I do.
I do.
I do. I do, but I'm not sure it's required, is it?
That's exactly what I thought.
Yes, you have to.
Well, the correct answer is the correct answer is you do not have to rinse.
Oh my gosh.
The only reason you would want to rinse is because you may receive service just once a week. And mainly your recycling would sit in your kitchen or your garage before it gets serviced, right? So that also invites unwanted guests. And you know who I'm talking about. So that's the only reason why you would want to rinse. Other than that, it is not necessary to rinse the containers because once it reaches our facilities, we further separate, we bale, and you're going to see this afternoon. We bale it and then it gets sold to the different manufacturers or recycling companies who melt the product. They also sterilize the product and convert it into new items. So a plastic water bottle may not come back as another brand new or recycled plastic water bottle. It could come back in the form of a t-shirt. So just because it's being recycled is not coming back as its original form. So that's why it's not necessary to rinse it out. At the factories, what they do is they melt it and they sterilize it before they work with the product to convert it into new things.
What happens when you put glass in the blue recycling?
What happens when you put glass in the blue recycling?
Doesn't it break? The glass will break, isn't?
Well, what we ask is that you do not put broken glass in the blue recycling bin for the safety of our workers. But once it's picked up, it's put into one of the compartments of the trucks, and I'm going to show you that today. And then it continues its travels from your curb to our transfer station, and from the transfer station to our trucks, and then to our recovered materials.
Yeah, but when you, it's fine and it's not broken when you put it in the bin. But then when it's in the bin and the bin is picked up, then it ends up breaking, or it breaks as it's going to the bottom of the bin.
There could be, once you put it on your curb, it should be intact.
I'm not talking about curb.
Yeah, in the process. So what do we do this?
So then once it's picked up from the hauler and put into one of the compartments, at that point, yes, it could shatter. But at that point, that's when let's say machinery takes over. So the only part that the employees are picking up is when they pick up the recycling bin. So that's why we ask that the recycling containers be intact once you put it in the recycling bin and put it on your curb. Once it's picked up and put into the truck, yes, there could be it could break. Now, once you're gonna see this, once it reaches our facility, we do break the glass.
So, Ms. Aurora, why don't we go ahead and
Let's
start your
jump into the
'cause-
presentation, yes.
Yeah,
Because
because
these
I
are
know we
really
could
good
ask questions
questions.
all day. I
Yes,
love
these
it.
are really good questions.
All right, so, you can share your screen and absolutely everybody write down your questions and hopefully we'll answer them. If not, we're here. Okay, so
So are you able to see my screen?
not yet, are we? Did I?
No?
We could see it before, but not now.
Okay.
Let's make sure. Let me make sure I didn't. I don't think I took you off being a
Host
Here, just-
disabled, participant screen share.
I must have okay, so how about this? Let's go ahead and try it again.
Okay,
Oh, I think when you joined back on for the second time, I forgot to do that for you.
okay. How about now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So welcome to SWA. So SWA, I thought it was the Solid Waste Authority. Well, the Solid Waste Authority, we're called SWA because once the resident puts their garbage or recycling separately on the curb, they don't care what happens to it. All they care is that it goes away. So where is this SWA? Well, the SWA is at the Solid Waste Authority. So we have a saying at the Solid Waste Authority that whether you throw it away, you recycle it, or you flush it away, that's right, whether you flush it away, we do put your waste to work. And you're gonna learn how we put your waste to work this afternoon. So we are a local government agency that we were created by the Florida legislature back in 1975, and we were created exclusively for Palm Beach County. So Palm Beach County is the largest county east of the Mississippi, and our county does begin way up north in Tequesta, goes all the way down south to Boca Raton, and extends past Lake Okeechobee. On this map, what you're looking at, those little orange boxes, well, those are our transfer stations. And they have been placed throughout the county for the convenience of our haulers and also for the convenience of transporting all of this material to that point where you see that little starburst to the Solid Waste Authority. So let's talk about our population. Here in Palm Beach County, we have approximately 1.4 million people living with us, but they're not just living here with
Oops. I think she froze. Aurora, did you
solid
freeze?
waste. Would you like to guess how much? Can you see?
Am I the only one that's freezing or are you guys okay?
She's freezing.
I'm okay. Are you?
Yeah, you
Can
were
you hear me?
freezing. Yeah, we missed the whole
She was
Okay.
after you.
So here in Palm Beach County, we have approximately 1.4 million residents, but they're just not living here in Palm Beach County. They're generating some sort of solid waste. So each person in our county generates approximately 12 pounds of solid waste per day. And that equates to almost 17 million pounds of solid waste. That's how much we generate on a daily basis. Now, I know this is a very large number in garbage terms, just to imagine. So I broke it down for you, okay? Now, if you take a football field and you cover it entirely with solid waste, with garbage, and you build it at least 27 feet high, that's almost what 17 million pounds would look like. And that is reaching almost to the very top of the goalpost. Now, how do we manage all of the solid waste? Well, we have what's called a renewable energy park, which are our facilities. So here is a map showing you our facilities. So we have a renewable energy number 1, we have a renewable energy number 2, we have also a home chemical and recycling center, we have our recovered materials processing facility, we also have our biosolids pelletizer, and then we have our 2 landfills. We have a class 1 and we have a class 3. So let's break it down even more so. So here in Palm Beach County, what we have is called a dual bin system. All of our residents have a yellow and blue recycling bin. And when everyone recycles right, well, what we're helping to do is saving natural resources, because every product that you put in your yellow and blue recycling bin comes from a natural resource. And it's very important to recycle right, because we already have the product. Why tap into the natural resources and deplete these natural resources, right? That take generations to recreate again. So we should always try to save as much natural resources for future generations. That's important. And then we have our home chemical and recycling center. That's another form in which we manage Palm Beach County solid waste. So here at these facilities, we have satellite facilities within each one of those transfer stations, those little orange buildings that I show you. So our residents can drop off any household hazardous waste that they may have free of charge. And here are some examples of what household hazardous waste is. Propane tanks, used paint, insecticides, CFL light bulbs, fluorescent light bulbs. Those can go to these centers and they will accept them free of charge. Now, when we dispose of these items correctly, what we're doing is keeping our waters clean. And then we have renewable energy 1 and renewable energy number 2. Remember when I said, when in doubt, just put it in the trash, throw it out? Well, here at these facilities, what we do with your garbage is we burn it and turn it into electricity. So we've been doing this since 1989. So it's nothing new to us here in Palm Beach County. We began creating electricity from garbage with our renewable energy facility number 1, which began operation back in 1989. And then renewable energy number 2, well, that is our newest renewable energy facility. It came on board in 2015. And this renewable energy facility is the newest renewable energy facility in North America. There hasn't been a newer one in the past 20 years. And it is the greenest in North America. And we're very proud of that it is located here in Palm Beach County. Now with renewable energy number 1 and renewable energy number 2, we create enough electricity to power all of our footprint. Remember that map that I showed you? Well, we generate enough electricity for that footprint. And we sell the excess electricity to Florida Power and Light. Now we sell enough electricity from Palm Beach County's garbage to power approximately between 70 to 75,000 homes. So guess what? Your electricity at home can be coming from our garbage, because what we do is we sell the electricity to Florida Power and Light, and they are the ones that distribute it throughout Palm Beach County. And then I spoke about whether you flush it away. I wasn't kidding. Everything you flush down the toilet, and you know what I'm talking about, it could be your number 1 and number 2, that all goes to the wastewater treatment facilities here in Palm Beach County. So at those facilities, what they do is they remove anything that should have never been flushed down the toilet. I am guilty with my kids. I've done many ceremonies for the fish that have passed away, and they've been flushed down the toilet. Items like that should have never been flushed down the toilet. So here at these facilities, they remove things like that. So after they remove that, all of that material is brought to our facilities, to our biosolids pelletizer, and it's called sludge. All the sludge is brought in by the truckloads. So once it's received at our facility, the first thing that we do is we remove all the liquids and we keep the mud, the sludge, and we create it into an eco-friendly fertilizer. And then finally, we manage Palm Beach County solid waste with our landfill. We have 2 landfills. We have a class 1 and we have a class 3. And I'm very proud to announce that by using our renewable energy facilities, number 1 and number 2, we have added at least 30 years to the life of our landfill. So in the past, we used to bury at least half of our garbage, but thanks to renewable energy number 2, once it came on board, well, we are burying less than 10%, because what we're burying in the landfill is the ash that is the residual after the burning process. And that's how we have been able to add even more years to the life of our landfill. So what happens to a landfill here in Palm Beach County once it's completely full? Well, we rehabilitate it and we give it back to the community. We've done so in 2 occasions. The first one is the golf course, I can't even pronounce it right now. It's a golf course in Lantana Road. And
Park Ridge Golf Course.
That's it. Thank you very much. My tongue, I've been talking all day and my tongue is not cooperating right now. Yes, that golf course was built right on top of a landfill. Now, it's not a regular golf course. It does have a lot of challenges because it's not flat. It's very hilly. So the next one that was created into a community park is Dyer Park. That park was also built right on top of a landfill. And if you go and visit, it's a beautiful park. There is no smell. It is a beautiful place for families to enjoy, especially during the times that we're living. So here's a breakdown of the types of municipal solid waste. And this, of course, is for the year 2019. Recycling, this is how much we collected, was 38.4%. The landfill was 20.8%. Waste to energy was 37.3%. Our biosolids was 3.5%. And then our home chemical and recycling centers was 0.1. So let's talk about how we manage your solid waste with recycling. Of course, we have what's called a dual bin system, the yellow and blue recycling bin. Now here's a menu of what goes in each bin. So always think of the blue recycling bin as the bin that collects all of the containers that held a food or a liquid. And then the yellow recycling bin is for all of your paper products. And here is a listing of what goes in the blue and what goes in the yellow. So in the blue, please put all your plastic containers, canned foods, whether they be steel or aluminum, your glass bottles and jars, milk and juice cartons, drink boxes, and of course, no pouches, no drink pouches. In the yellow, cardboard, please make sure it's flattened, newspaper and its inserts, no plastic bags. Your office or school paper, your unwanted mail, magazines, dry food boxes, of course, make sure they don't have stains. Paper bags, cardboard paper rolls, those are the ones in your disposable napkins or even your toilet paper. And those rolls, just the rolls, not the paper, can be put in your yellow recycling bin, and pizza boxes, of course, like we had said before, with no stains. Now, let's go over the do nots. So no plastic bags, no foam products, no aluminum foil or pipe pans. The only aluminum that we collect are aluminum cans. So no shredded paper, no plastic eating utensils or straws, no paper plates, no paper towels or napkins, no coat hangers, no light bulbs, and of course, no needles or sharps. So when in doubt, just throw it out. Just put it in with your garbage can. Now, if you need new recycling bins, please give us a call and we will deliver them to your home free of charge. So why no plastic bags? Well, this is the reason. Because plastic bags do get caught in with our machinery. So we have very sophisticated equipment, as you're going to learn. However, unfortunately, we have to resort to the old-fashioned way. We have to harness men and they have to hang and with old-fashioned scissors, cut these plastic bags from our conveyor belts. And this process generally takes place about 3 to 4 times a day. So it slows down our operations. We're not able to recycle as much as we would like. So that's the main reason why we do not want plastic bags in your blue recycling bin. And plus, for the Solid Waste Authority, there's really not a market. Now, remember, what we do is we recover the items that we are able to sell. So with that said, plastic bags or even foam products, really it's not an easy sell. So we do not collect those. There's really not a good market for plastic bags. So let's take a look inside of this facility. So your hauler comes to your curb and picks up the yellow, then he picks up the blue recycling bin. And as you can see, his truck is equipped with 2 separate compartments. So he never mixes the material. Once the material arrives to our recycling center, well, it's delivered in 2 separate areas. This area collects everything that was put in the blue recycling bin. So these are your containers. Once it reaches inside the facility, well, they do a negative sort. They remove items that should have never been placed in that blue recycling bin. Then we have an optical sorter that with lasers measures the thickness or density of the plastics and separates it accordingly. Once it's separated, then it gets baled. So our aluminum is separated with an eddy current with its static electricity that detects the aluminum cans off the conveyor belt and puts them in a separate container. So fiber, well, your paper is delivered to the same facility, but on the opposite side. So you see it's never mixed. Again, it's put onto the conveyor belts. We do negative sorts, remove items that do not belong. This is the star screen. It makes the cardboard dance on the top and the paper fall to the bottom. And then we do another negative sort, make sure that we didn't miss anything. And the material that we take out, it goes to our renewable energy facility. This is our trommel that cleans the paper from small particles and moisture, and then it gets baled. Once it's baled, it's ready for the market. So as you can see, the Solid Waste Authority does not recycle this material. What we do is we recover the material. So we collect the material, we further separate it, and then we sell the material to companies that they are the ones that take these old items and make them into new. And here are some pictures of some bales. This is aluminum, these are plastics, this is cardboard, and this is one of the companies that has come to our facility to pick up his purchase. So we don't deliver it, they come and pick it up. Now we do sell it to different parts here in Florida, to all over the United States, and even to other countries. So let's talk about household hazardous waste. So if you have anything at home that has one of these symbols, is considered household hazardous waste. And we ask that you never put it in with your recycling or your garbage. So it can be taken to one of our home chemical and recycling centers where you can drop it off free of charge. And here is a listing of items that can be taken to these centers. So we have used oil, filters and antifreeze, pesticides, gas cylinders, fuel and gas, flares, mercury and fluorescent light bulbs, used paint, or even if it's a brand new can of paint that you did not like the color and you just want to dispose of it, this is the place to bring it. And also your electronics. We also have rechargeable batteries. We have used cooking oil. We do not accept sharps or medications at this facility. So let's talk very quickly about the paint. At the Solid Waste Authority, we have a program. It's called Paint Your Heart Out. So what we do is the paint that's collected from the center, we send it to a company who takes it here in Florida, recycles the paint and puts it in containers and sends it back to us. They create beautiful, beautiful colors, and it's a very good quality paint. And through our Paint Your Heart Out program, what we do is we form teams of volunteers, and we ask our residents to fill out an application. And if they do qualify and if they're selected, our team of volunteers will come and paint the exterior of these applicants' home free of charge. And we give them the choice of 2 colors, one for the trim and one for the body of the paint. So that is our Paint Your Heart Out program. And you can get more information about this program on our website. So if you know of anyone that would be interested or may qualify, it's a very, very good program. And then the sharps and medications, well, those we do have a program with the Sheriff's Department, and they have drop-off boxes where you can safely dispose of these items. So then we have our Renewable Energy 1 and Renewable Energy 2. And Renewable Energy 1 began operation back in 1989. So we've been doing this for a very long time. And we have Renewable Energy number 2 that began operation in 2015. They process approximately about 5,000 tons per day of solid waste. And they generate approximately enough electricity for 70 to 75,000 homes. About 25,000 tons of the recovered materials, or the metals, I should say, are recovered and then taken to our recycling center. So at the end of the burning, we do recover the ash, and that's what's buried in the landfill. And then the metals, we recover that also and take it to the recycling center, and that's added to all of the material that we sell. And here is just a sampling of the ash when we collect the ash, and some of the particles of the metal that we recover and send to our recycling center. So we remove the metals with the eddy current, and the metals then are transported down the street to our recycling center, and some of the metals are also removed with a large magnet and transported over. Now the ash is transported right across the street to the landfill. And that's the ash. And by just burying the ash, well, that's how we have been able to add many years to the life of our landfill. So what can you do? Well, we ask you to exercise the 4 R's. And it goes like this, it's very easy. Reduce, reuse, recycle, and rethink. So before you purchase anything or before you throw anything away, we ask you to just pause and take a second and rethink and see if it can be reduced, reused, or recycled. So at this point, this is when I like to open the floor to any questions and I hope that I have covered all the questions that you had in the beginning and have a little bit better understanding as to why we request our residents to recycle right, and also as to which materials we recycle.
I have a question.
Yes.
You had a visual on there that had for the yellow and the blue, and in the center, no. Is there a possibility of reproducing that or getting copies of it that I could have laminated and put in each of our dumpster areas in our condo association?
I can make sure that Terry, and you know what, I'm going to write it down because I want to make sure that I don't forget. Right, and I'm going to do it right this minute. So I am going to write it down and I will provide those to Terry. Sorry, Tammy. So one thing I'm going to say is that because you were so generous in devoting your time to meet with me and letting me speak to you about the Solid Waste Authority, I am going to make sure that Tammy receives a little something for each and every one of you. But I will make sure, and I promise that I will get you those signs.
Yeah,
I'd like
did
about
get
2 dozen, 2 dozen.
Okay, no, that's
I'll
fine.
talk to her about it. Yeah, I just talked to a bunch of people and we'll talk to the neighborhoods and get everybody some signs. And yeah, and if there's anything that we can do to help out as a club, definitely.
Awesome, awesome. Yes.
Yeah.
I have a statement rather than a question. We talked before about Publix taking plastic bags. They also take styrofoam,
Yes.
which
Yes.
is wonderful. And I don't know if people know that Home Depot takes batteries and takes tubes.
Yes. Well,
Fluorescent.
styrofoam
tubes.
is in our day-to-day life and sometimes is disguised because it comes in different shapes and colors. Even when we do a takeout, we may get our food in styrofoam when we buy our vegetables or our meat, the little tray. So it comes in different shapes and colors. And a lot of residents do sometimes think that it's plastic, and it is a plastic, but it's not the right type of plastic that we recycle at the Solid Waste Authority.
I have a question. On the plastic containers, we were always told if it has a certain number at the bottom. Now, there's certain ones that you do take and that you don't take. Are we supposed to look at this at all anymore?
Yes, it's a really good rule of thumb. Yes. Plastic containers generally have a little recycling triangle.
Right.
And the number that's within that recycling triangle, that is the type of plastic that it's made. So at the Solid Waste Authority, within your blue recycling bin, we're able to accept plastics 1 through 7, with the exception of 5, which would be, I'm sorry, with the exception of number 6, which is styrofoam.
Thank you.
So when we see stuff that is, I think recently at the club, we had some styrofoam cups that had that recycling. But if you put it, where do we put that, since we can't put it in any of your bins? And if when in doubt, throw it out, it gets burned up. So really, what is where do we put?
The best thing to do with those coffee styrofoam cups, put them with your garbage. Don't put them with your recycling, put them in with your garbage, and we will burn them and make them into electricity.
How about aerosol cans?
Aerosol cans can be dropped off at our home chemical and recycling centers.
So we're talking about like hairspray?
Yes, like hairspray, deodorant spray, paint sometimes comes in aerosol spray. Some of your cooking oils also come in a little aerosol can. So, but we don't ask you to come and make a trip to one of our facilities just for one can or one light bulb. So go ahead and store a few, and then when you have enough, then come out and make the trip. I mean, if you like to come and see us every time you have one item, we don't mind, but we'd like to save you the trip. You don't have to come every single time you have just one item.
What would happen if you did put them in the trash? Because people are going to.
So if let's say residents by mistake, this is going to be nice, by mistake, they put it in your garbage, it will end up in the pit of renewable energy number 2. Now, that facility is built with the safety precautions that if it does an impact, but sometimes those cans can explode. So it will take, the facility will be okay. But, and then at the end, they will recover the metal and then take it to the recycling center. But the best way to recycle these cans is just take it to the home chemical and recycling center.
Or don't buy them.
Or it's sometimes certain products do come just in those containers, and it's hard to as a consumer, right, to look for another product that it's equal to that. But if you do have to purchase it, just be mindful when you finish with that product and put it in the right place.
You didn't mention electronics, but there was a thing on the bottom. Are there certain electronics you will not accept?
We will accept all electronics as long as they are, you plug them in. TVs, VCRs, 8-tracks, old cell phones, cameras, you name it. They will accept them at that facility.
Did you say about mercury again? Like the, mercury, thermometers, things like that.
Those items should go to the home chemical and recycling centers also. Yes, they should not be placed in with your garbage.
It's interesting because when I live up north and our recycling is totally
different.
A lot of
yes.
other things they accept that you don't.
Yes. And that's what we, Tammy and I were talking about, that the norms in different states are a little bit different. Here, for instance, here in Palm Beach County, recycling is done on a volunteer basis. There are many states that if you do not recycle right, you will get a fine. So here, even though we do have the 2 bins, we do it on a volunteer basis because we want to help out the environment.
So the communities, these large high-rise communities, around, do not have recycling programs. So their garbage would be, I have a friend who lives in a very large complex and came from New York and was very upset because there is no recycling program in her building. So this garbage that she's making, what's going to happen to it?
So if she does not have recycling at the property where she's living, she should talk to the property manager and see if they can start up a recycling program. Now, for multifamilies, sometimes it's not included in their tax bill, like when you're living in a single family home, because it's one of the ad valorem items on your tax bill. So they may incur an additional cost, and maybe that's why they don't have recycling. But if they don't, she can put her garbage where it belongs with the garbage container, and the Solid Waste Authority will burn it and turn it into electricity, but we do lose those natural resources.
I have a question. So many times we go to put our recycling in the bins, and the blue bin is full of newspapers in plastic bags, and the yellow bin is full of bottles and cans, and people have it backwards. What happens? Does if the blue bin is full of newspapers, for example, will your guys pick it up and pour it in with all the blue stuff?
Well, it all depends, because if you put newspapers or paper products with containers, let's say a bottle of oil, right? Olive oil or cooking oil, and it spills onto that paper, unfortunately, that paper cannot be recycled. So you lose that load. Yes, it would be considered contaminated. So that's why it's important. It's important to recycle right. And I know that sometimes residents, they want to do the right thing, so they try to recycle more. Every time they see something, oh, I think this can be recycled. Oh, I think this can be recycled. And in actuality, they're not recycling right. And those items that they're putting in the recycling bins, sometimes they could even be causing harm to the other items that could have been recycled.
Sure. I think that a lot of people tend to have I know up north, we have single stream recycling. So we are used to not separating anything and putting it all in the same bin. And maybe that's what's happening. So I actually sent Tammy the exact same suggestion in an email that we put that one screenshot big, maybe we could blow it up a little bit above the recycle bins so people actually can see what goes in what.
Yes, yes. And that's what I was saying, that different states, different counties here in Florida, because we're very unique to the state of Florida. Not every county within the state of Florida has 2 bins. We at one point we had all of our municipalities except for one that was not participating in the dual stream system. They ran into trouble. And they had to come back. Now I can say all of Palm Beach County is on the same page, utilizing the yellow and blue recycling bin. But those are our guidelines as a county. So there are other counties that do use the single stream. However, we have a huge success, and we've been doing it from the beginning of our program. Using the dual bin system. We have been approached to try to see if we can go to the single stream, but we've had such a success using the 2 bins that I don't foresee us going to just one. And not only that, I'm proud to also say that there are many states, other countries that come to the Solid Waste Authority to learn and adapt our recycling and also garbage collection guidelines so they can implement them in their countries.
Aurora, let me just follow up on Mrs. Newman's question. So are the employees, when they're getting our recycling bins, they're obviously, you said, they're not going through. So if they see a contaminated bin, if they happen to see somebody getting it mixed up, what are they doing? Because you only showed us there's the 2 spots. Is there a contamination where they toss it?
So they have the right to leave it. They have the right to leave it. If it's too contaminated, they have the right to leave it. So then you would have to put it with your garbage.
I have one other question. These sanitary wipes that seem to be very popular right now for cleansing. Is it true that they get like stuck places and they got to be pulled out by somebody in the, I guess, recycling procedure?
Right. So those should not be placed in either one of the bins. They should go directly.
No, I'm talking about down the toilet. I'm talking about the sanitary wipes that people are using after they go to the bathroom.
That they're flushing down the toilet?
That they're flushing down the toilet, that say they're flushable, but they don't dissolve.
Right. So everything you flush down the toilet, right, that goes to the wastewater treatment facilities. And what they do at those facilities is that they remove the items that you're talking about that should have never been flushed, including my goldfish that I flushed. They remove all of that stuff. And there are other personal items that adults like to flush down the toilet too. They remove all of that yucky stuff.
The dirty job.
So then all the liquid and all the mud, that's what we receive. But it's after, okay, I have to say it, after it's been filtered. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can get them to
I have a
talk
question.
on Zoom.
I have a question.
Yes.
Shredded paper in a paper bag. Why can that not be recycled?
Okay, that's an excellent question. In the past, we used to collect shredded paper. And what the norm was, put it in a paper bag, not plastic, and put it in the bottom of your yellow recycling bin and put all of the other items on top. So that way it would create weight, right? So what we found out is that in the transportation process, it was creating a mess on our roads, at our facilities. So if you would just imagine all the different steps it takes, by the time it gets to our recovered materials processing facility, there's very little of it left because it's been lost in the transportation process. So it's too messy, and unfortunately, we're not able to recover it correctly, or totally, I should say. That's why we have stepped back from accepting shredded paper within our recycling program.
Okay, thanks.
So just put it with your garbage. Just put it with your garbage. Now, very important, yes, shred your personal documents, those documents that have that, personal information, but don't put it in your recycling bin. Just put it in your garbage. Any other questions? You guys have been awesome. And let me tell you, you guys fooled me because you guys are recycling experts. By the first quiz that we took, you all have it together. You guys know how to recycle right.
Yes, I have two questions. One is with the plastic containers that our club is delivering food in now. The bottom part is black and the top part is a clear plastic.
Okay, so if the bottom part is a plastic, not styrofoam.
No, they're all plastic.
And they have the recycle label on them.
It can go in your blue recycling bin. So
do not
here's the
recycle those bags.
But do they have to be cut? I mean, I've been cutting mine so that the white is separate from the black so that they're not mixed.
No, no. You don't have to do that because what they're looking for is the density of the plastic.
Oh.
That's what they're looking for. So 9 times out of 10, the density of the plastic on the bottom is going to be the same as the one on the top. So here's the rule of thumb. If it held a food or a liquid, it goes in the blue. And if it's a paper product, it goes in the yellow, including cardboard, whether it be corrugated cardboard or just the shiny cardboard that your pasta boxes and all, that goes in the yellow. But if it's a container that held a food or a liquid, put it in the blue.
So I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, how safe is our personal name and address on the labels on magazines and things that we put in the recycle?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so at the recycling center, or the accurate name of it is the Recovered Materials Processing Facility, they're not allowed to go through the material that, in other words, take the time to read or kind of see who it belonged to. Okay, so that is all baled. Now, once we sell it to the other companies, they open up that package. In other words, they open that bale and they put it into huge tubs, where those tubs then clean the paper and eliminate the ink on it. But we also have to be very careful because a lot of those documents do have some very personal information. So what I would recommend with a magazine, tear off the page that has your address, your name.
Exactly what I do.
Put that in the garbage, and the rest of the magazine, put it in the yellow recycling.
Same thing with envelopes, though. I rip the envelopes up. So you don't really want the ripped envelopes because that becomes sort of like shredded paper. And I should just put that in the garbage and not, which I've been doing. So I don't, that way it's not all a mess, because I won't put anything in any trash without ripping my name up in bitty pieces.
I do the same, yes.
There's Amazon boxes
too, the cardboard boxes too.
I do the same thing. I am guilty of that also, but I put it with my garbage. It's okay to do that. Just put it in with your garbage. Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I'm glad that you mentioned Amazon boxes.
Yep.
Because we are getting so many people ordering stuff, including us, instead of going shopping.
I'm not. Don't tell my husband I've been ordering on Amazon. Okay, I am not.
I haven't ordered anything all year.
I haven't
Well-
ordered anything today, I swear. No.
But the problem is, our recycling bins are being filled up with all these boxes. And also people are not cutting them down. And I'm like a policeman. And I'm finding that I'm having to throw some boxes into the trash, flattened, but I just can't, we just can't have them in the bins because they don't fit.
They're overflowing. Yeah, and it's important to make them flatten as much as possible, because the only reason why we ask that they are flattened is because of that, because we want to recover as much as possible. So
Right.
the volume that a box takes versus a flattened box. So the
Yes.
container will hold more quantity. So that's the only reason why we ask that you flatten. And not only that, when the hauler picks it up, again, more volume fits in his truck opposed to a box that's nicely put together. Yes.
What
But we're
about the
having-
tape?
But we're having,
I'm
I
sorry.
just wanted to thank you for not making me feel guilty by making trash, because I thought this trash went to a landfill as is. And I really am so appreciative that we're recycling. I am like ecstatic, because I sometimes look at things and I don't know what to do with them, because I said, oh my God, it's going to go into a landfill. And then, well, the birds are, flying over and we're polluting. And so this has been such a comfort for me to know at least we're not creating such an environmental hazard.
Yeah, no, don't feel guilty, because we are doing something that we all love to use right here in Palm Beach County with our garbage. We're creating electricity. You're more than experienced with the inconveniences of, unfortunately, when the storms come or when we lose power. We know the importance of electricity. So we are creating even more so. And then just that residual, which is the ash, that's what we're putting in the landfill. So that way we don't have to make another landfill in our backyard, in our county.
Many years ago, on the Long Island Sound and in Long Island, I'm going to say 30 years ago, there was a garbage barge
Yes.
that would not take the garbage. It went all over. Nobody would accept this barge full of garbage.
I remember.
And I got crazy about it because I lived on Long Island at the time. And everybody laughed at me because they said, what are they going to do with the garbage? What are they going to do with this garbage? And here it was floating on this beautiful body of water, and no state would take the garbage.
Well, think about it. No one wants someone else's garbage. No one. If I have a garbage bag here at my house and I'm going to go over Tammy's and say, Tammy, here's my garbage. She's not going to accept it. She's going to say, no, I don't want your garbage. Take it someplace else. That's the same scenario that was happening. But here in Palm Beach County, fortunately, we don't have that situation because of the way we're managing our garbage. And you can drive by anytime and you can see all of our equipment. You can see the ash you can see it from the road. You can see the ash that's being put on to the landfill, how they're compressing it to make more space, because by burning the garbage, they're bringing down the volume at least 90%. So that gives us even more space for future generations for our landfill. So we're doing some good things here in Palm Beach County, but we haven't, we've been doing this for such a long, long time. And we look forward to the future because, of course, future generations are going to have even better concepts, better ideas on how to handle our garbage. So we're excited about that. But I know that our time is up. You guys have been awesome. And I really, really enjoy talking to you. And I invite you, once this pandemic is over and we commence with our tours, I invite you to come and visit us and take one of our tours. And we'll take you to our renewable energy facilities. We'll take you to also to our recovered materials processing facility. Which facility is that one? the recovered materials processing facility.
Thank you.
I have one
Which
comment.
one is that
That was
one?
excellent.
I have a comment. You did not
Yeah.
mention where electronics and so can be recycled. It
Yeah,
is all-
those can be taken to the home chemical and recycling centers.
Right, but where it is, tell them where it is.
Oh,
Closest
those
one.
are, okay, those are located within our transfer stations. So if you go to our website, there is a full listing of all of the transfer stations. And you look for the closest one to your neighborhood, and then you can drop your items there. But there's
I've
7.
done that. Our closest one actually is if you guys just head up to Atlantic, and I guess it's what, 441? You make a right, and it's gonna be on the right-hand side, 2 miles up on the road. And then, trust me, if you go off the beaten path where I did, someone will stop you and tell you where to go.
But there's a sign on the road.
There's also one where I used to live. There's a Costco on Lantana Road, right off of 95. And right opposite Costco, there's a solid waste authority.
Yeah, they're very friendly, so they'll help you and answer any
Just
questions that
drive
you have.
through,
Yes,
There's bins for everything.
yes.
So
And if
real
someone's
quick,
in there, they'll come and they'll get your stuff and help you
Yes.
separate it and whatnot.
yeah, so real quick, I just wanted to go back to Mrs. Kavanaugh's thing about the cardboard. So if I'm not mistaken, is if you run out of room in your yellow bin for cardboard, I mean, it's fine if you break it down and you set it off to the side, because they will take, as long as it's broken down, they will take all that additional cardboard boxes. So there shouldn't be any need. But the only thing is that it has to be broken down.
It has to be flattened, yes.
What
That
about
is
the
what I
tape
work
on it? What about all the tape on the cardboard boxes?
It's okay, it's
It
fine.
is okay. Oh, good.
Oh, good.
The staples, how about the staples?
Fine also.
All right, everybody, see how much we've learned? We could
Yeah,
go
yeah.
on all day.
I
So,
know, recycling is such a fun topic to talk about, because we learn about, where these natural resources come, how to save them, how to recycle right. So, and we look all around and we see even more items that we think that could be recycled. So guys, exercise the 4 R's and you won't go wrong. Rethink, right? Stop and rethink. And if once you rethink, you're able to see if it can be reduced, reused, or recycled.
all right. Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody.
Oh,
Excellent.
nice meeting you. Please all stay safe. And hopefully soon we'll be person to person when you come visit me.
Yes.
By the